Yeah.
All right, welcome. Welcome to all our millions and millions of viewers out there. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, season 2, episode 2 of the Neutral Zone. And today, boy, do we have a treat for you. We have the women of the sport, the women of the Chicago, and should I say USA hockey elitists here tonight. So we are super thrilled to welcome Danielle, Eileen, and Lorissa. So say hi to the viewers.
Hello, viewers. Thanks for having us.
The pleasure is ours. Stomps is with me as my co-host. He's going to run the interview. We're very excited. I know that this is a long anticipated show. We've been talking about this one for probably the last 4 or 5 months. Getting on these women's schedules has been a challenge, and we'll talk about their travel schedule, their media performances, their royalties, everything that they're working on. They're so busy, but we're just so pleased, and it's an honor to have you on the show. So thank you for that. Before we get started, just a couple of quick things. Current events. I don't want to make this too scientific or technology, but I did put a few things together for the group today, and I wanted to sort of share it with the fans at home. Oops. You don't want to see that. Okay. All right. Maybe not. Okay, so we're going to talk about the juniors, USA hockey. Congratulations on a much-deserved win. I think that was 2 nights ago. They beat Team Canada 2-0. I was disappointed, but as being a dual citizen, I get to represent both countries. So I'm very happy.
Oh, either way you win, right?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're the three of you. I know Stomps was watching the game. Were you watching the game?
No, I wasn't actually.
Yeah, I was not either.
I was not either.
Oops. Off to a great start here.
Already failed.
We're super busy.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Well, I think you were cheering them on in spirit, right?
Super.
So what we're going to do is we're going to, that's the real current event. As everyone knows, next Wednesday, I think it's next Wednesday, the NHL kicks off. So the first games start next week. There's no training camp this year, or no exhibition games. There's training camp, but no exhibition games. So just wanted to throw that out there. Stomps and I will be doing a little bit more of a breakdown of the upcoming NHL season, the compressed schedule that's coming up, and we'll be picking some of our favorite teams. But today's show is not about that. Today's show is about something bigger than the NHL, okay? It's about the women of the sport. And that's why I'm going to pass it on to my esteemed co-host and colleague, Stomps, to take it away.
Thank you, Nav. Yeah, this is an exciting show for us. You said we've been talking about it the last few months, but if you remember, Nav, at the very beginning last year, we were kind of going through scenarios in our head of different shows we wanted to try and do with this, and I'd suggested this as one of the ones that I wanted to do, and so I'm very happy to do this. So before I get into the questions, ladies, I'm just going to tell you a little bit of my story. So
do you have all night?
You know I'm old, right? What was that?
Lay it on us.
You have all night?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty old, and so my first official real organized ball hockey league was 1983. I'm sure none of you were born at that point. And I was 19 at the time. We were just kids playing street hockey, and I happened to see a little ad in the Chicago Tribune that said wanted ball hockey teams for Winnetka League. So of course I went nuts and started texting. Oh no, we didn't have that back then. So I was, we had to get on the phone, dial, and call our friends and say, hey, we got to do this. So we got in the league. Thinking back as a youngster back then, we would have never given any thought to have it playing with women. It was off the radar. We wouldn't even think about it. Now, fast forward, playing all of these years that I played, it was probably about 10 years ago, roughly, give or take. I was playing on the Raiders at Palatine, and we played, I'm sure you know her, Erica Boom Boom Carlson. She was a teammate for a couple of seasons there. And I mean, excellent player. And, from that point on, it was, no looking back, right? So I've played with a number of different women on the team and different teams, I should say. So here we are. So let's dive into this. And Nav and I were talking about this before you guys came on the Zoom. We want to do the questions in alphabetical order. So Danielle, Eileen, and Lorissa. Okay.
So Lorissa, you have time to think of your head.
Everybody's gonna have a chance to weigh in.
Larissa has time to come up with a
Yeah,
brilliant
right.
answer.
Right.
You're welcome.
So let's start. At what age were you when you started playing hockey?
Oh, so ball hockey, I was actually 5 years old. So I was starting at Southwest Ball Hockey. They had an instructional league at 5 years old.
Wow.
So when you say, you first played with Erica, on the Raiders, it's like, and you never played with women before, it was like, I've never not played with guys. So like for me to think like, it's just, for me, it's just normal, so that's interesting to hear your take too, that was just a new experience for you. But yeah, started at 5 years old.
Wow. Eileen?
Yeah, I also played at Southwest Ball Hockey. I had never played hockey before, but my older brother Dan started there. And my mom always tells the story. I came back from an Irish dancing competition and I was watching him play and I just saw him going around the cones and I was like, that looks so fun. I was like, I want to play. And my mom's like, can girls play? And they're like, yeah. And she's like, okay, well, so she signed me up right there and I got the equipment and I never looked back. And I was like 8 years old. So, yep.
All right, Larissa.
All right, I have a very unoriginal story as well. I also played at Southwest Ball Hockey. So yeah, I started playing when I was around 5 as well too. I also grew up in a hockey family. I had an older brother who played. So it was kind of very just natural for me. And surprisingly, there was quite a few, not a ton. I mean, it was definitely more guys versus gals that were playing. But of course, Danielle and I are the same age. So we've known each other for a very long time. And I've known Eileen for quite some time too. But yeah, the rest was history from there.
Where are these older brothers now?
No longer in sports.
Yeah, basically, no.
I don't play sports anymore.
So we can't get any new recruits to Woodridge?
Oh, you don't want them.
Oh, okay. I hope they're not watching. All right.
Yeah.
Really interesting because I don't know that I've ever seen 5-year-olds playing ball hockey. I mean, honestly, boys or girls. So this Southwest League, Southwest side, I mean, is it still going today?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Still is.
Yeah, and I think it's only from you like age out at what, like age 15, 16?
15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, that's something I personally would love to be involved in, coaching younger kids in the game. But so who give me some role models? And I mean, it could be a coach you had, it could be an NHL player, a teammate, a relative. Go ahead, Danny.
Stomps.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, so for me, starting out, I would say it was always definitely, I wanted to be better than my older brother. Like he used to kick the shit out of me all the time in hockey. So like for me, it was always that drive that like, I'm going to be better than you. Like, that's my fire. That's my motivation, is just, you know, you're playing this, you think you're the best, and I'm going to do it too. But yeah, that's kind of where that started.
And look what you did. You drove him out of sports.
I did. I went a little too hard.
Did you bully him?
Sorry, Joe.
Wow.
Eileen?
So it was when I was a little bit older, but I started ice hockey when I aged out of ball hockey at Southwest. So I had to learn how to skate kind of like really late, like 13 or something. But my dad was like, if you want to keep playing hockey, you're gonna have to learn how to skate and play ice hockey. So one of my role models was Cami Granado, the first captain of the first U.S. women's team, and they won the gold medal. But she's from the area. She's from Illinois, and I went to one of her camps when I was just starting to skate, and I was really struggling, and she was just so nice, and her family was awesome, and she's been a really good friend and close, just like a great role model for me since I was pretty young. So
Are you still
really-
in touch? Are you still in touch with her?
Christmas cards and a message here and there. But yeah, no, she was really supportive. It was hard when I was starting out playing ice hockey, because I was obviously the coach. The only reason I got on the team was they could tell I knew how to play and I knew where to be. I just couldn't get there because of skating. But I was kind of like benched my sophomore year of high school, and I was like really down and like gonna quit and all this stuff. And she actually called me from Canada to like give me some motivation and give me a pep talk and kind of encourage me. So yeah, she's really awesome.
It's amazing. That's a great story.
Yeah, she's great.
She's welcome on the show anytime.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what was her brother's name? Why am I forgetting his name?
Tony.
Which one?
Tony, right?
Tony.
Tony Granado. I mean, yeah, he was a well-known, and he's coached, and yeah. That's awesome. That's a great story. How about you, Lorissa?
So I would probably have to go with my older brother as well, growing up at least, just because he was the one who kind of introduced me to the sport. I mean, along with my parents too, who kind of pushed me to play as well. But again, it was always, since there was only a few of us girls in the league, it was always trying to be better than the guys, or at least like prove ourselves that we can hang with the guys too. And then as time went on too, I mean, similar story to Eileen, when we started to age out of the ball hockey league, we were like, wow, we can't just stop playing hockey. So we transitioned to ice hockey, and Kendall Coyne comes to my mind because I remember going to see her. I don't know, she must have been on the U18 team, and they were playing at like Seven Bridges. And I just remember watching this girl do circles around. I mean, they were playing against other girls as well, but I just remember watching her do circles around girls and thinking, wow, I want to do something like that. And I still can't skate like that, let's be real, but definitely inspirational too. And it's cool to see how much farther she's come and what a role model she is for girls everywhere.
Olympian, right? I mean, she was
Gold medalist.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, that's so great stuff there. True or false, you've all been on national teams for Team USA in some form or fashion? Yes or no?
True.
True.
Yeah, I think if you go to their Facebook, there's a lot of evidence of that. And there's no shortage in USA pictures.
Are you stalking us now?
Exactly.
How do you think I got your picture?
Researching, Eileen, researching.
Researching.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you call that participation to be your proudest moments in the sport, or anything else stand out?
Oh, that's tough.
Proudest one. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a highlight for sure. There's like a couple teams in ball hockey that I absolutely love, like one of my USA team, but also like our Chicago Lady Cobras, which I'm sure we'll get into more. I don't know if we should start talking about them yet or not, but that we kind of are in charge of, but it's girls, women from like all over the country. Even we have a player from Canada that plays on our team, and that's we won the women's B division championship at why can't I even think of the name of it? North Americans. I haven't gone in so long, yeah. So we won the championship. Lorissa actually scored the winning goal. And it was that was really, really exciting. We just we went on a big dog pile on top of Lorissa, and I was like trying to make sure she wasn't like crushed, and she still had some breathing room, but it was very fun.
Well, speaking of those celebrations, it reminds me of this past Sunday, the 11 a.m. game at Woodridge when Lorissa, I think you set up Eileen for the goal, and then the celebration was, I loved it.
I missed
No,
it.
it wasn't weak at all. I mean, we were going nuts on the bench because it was so cool, because that was a close game, and really, you took over the game, the women.
We don't win that.
You were the main reason we won that game.
We don't win that game without the two of you.
It was outstanding. I mean, we were going nuts on the bench. So.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah,
I love it. Yeah.
I should have picked up Lorissa and like spun her around, I think, or something.
Like Simba, just
Yeah, right.
You could have done some figure skating on that rink that day.
We
Oh,
definitely
gee.
could have.
swimming too. In the corner.
Right.
Yeah, what do you have?
I have a question for Danielle specifically, since you
Uh-oh.
sort of passed it over to me. Listen, Danielle, you've had a lot of accomplishments, and you shared some of those with us. And in my investigative journalism, I was able to pick up a lot of things along the way. But one of the things I wanted to ask you was, you are the vice president of operations at Dynamo, and given we haven't been together at Salt Creek for almost a year in league play, I wanted to ask you if there was one thing you could tell the players of Dynamo as an executive of the team. What would that be right now?
Just keep to your training. Come out fast. We're a well-conditioned team. We're gonna come out with great things. But yeah, stick to the plan. Stick to your training, and we're gonna do good when we come back.
Well, we're honored to have you as a leader. So thanks for that.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, it was a tough interview process, but you got through. All right.
Well,
Go ahead, Stomps.
well, that rolls into this question because when we started Dynamo, I would say half the team were individuals I was very familiar with just from playing against or with. And then the other half I wasn't too familiar with or not familiar at all. So you just try to start getting to know your teammates and how they play. And I got to ask you about the cycle. I mean, the cycle is legendary. And Eileen, you don't cycle a lot, or
It's those two. They do it at every national ball hockey tournament, every small ball hockey tournament. It's them. They have some weird like vibe thing going. I don't know. You guys can explain it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We did it. It was primarily like ice hockey where it started, I would say, right?
No, I mean, I
just
even
kind of, like,
remember.
happened.
I even remember as a kid at like Southwest just doing cycle drills constantly and then doing cycle drills, and then maybe that's where it all started, and then ice hockey we really honed in on it. I don't know.
Oh, we were like, this is going to be our thing. If we can't skate, at least we're going to have possession, and we're going to.
We might not score, but we're
going to have the puck.
But you do score a lot. I mean, it's so effective because I think it's designed to get the opponents out of position eventually, and then you find somebody open in the slot and bang. And we watch it on on Dynamo. We just marvel at it and we love it, especially when we're leading the game and we're trying to salt it away towards the end, and you want to keep possession. Send you all out there with Steve, or even Alex gets in on the fun, and boy, you can't beat it.
It's so much better. It's so much better when you're on the side of the women cycling than chasing them. I've had to chase him around a few times. And
Key is stay in position if you're defending. Don't chase.
yeah.
Oh God.
I could be wrong, but anyway. Hey, what other sports do you play or that you're into? Anything else?
Ooh. So back in the day, I was into gymnastics. I did that for quite some years. Softball, I was in briefly volleyball. Currently it's pretty much just hockey. But I feel like, so if I were to like start another sport besides hockey, it's always been, there's like this desire to try rugby for some
Whoa.
reason.
Do
Yeah.
it.
We'll
Joe
see.
Gleason, his ears perked up when he heard that.
Okay.
Joe Gleason loves rugby.
Oh, talk to me, man.
Let's go.
What about you, Eileen?
So I actually haven't like played too many other organized sports besides ball hockey and ice hockey, but I played a lot of like slow pitch softball, either like just co-ed districts or like yeah, just like parish leagues or whatever. So I played that, but my younger brother and my dad, we would play all kinds of things like baseball, like catch with a football. I would play like, just like recreationally. I played a lot of sports. We have a hoop in our backyard, so we play basketball all the time. So I really love to play sports. I just never was really in other organized ones just because there was like no time. With 3 kids and like multiple activities, everyone's like, my parents like, just pick one sport and stick to that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lorissa.
All right, it's my turn. I grew up playing softball as well. And then in high school and a couple years in college, I played tennis for a while, which I really enjoyed. But other than that, I just played ball hockey and ice. Actually, in high school, fun fact, I really wanted to do show choir. I don't know if you'd consider that a sport, but dancing and singing at the same time is really hard.
Yeah.
The lung capacity you need to have for that is a sport in itself.
I really wanted to do that because I thought it was so fun. And I guess that was when High School Musical was a big thing too. So maybe that's why. But it was between that or hockey, and I chose hockey. So I'm not mad about the decision at all.
Neither are we.
Thanks.
I'm surprised none of you mentioned one sport that I'm really into, and that's women's golf. I love the LPGA. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter. Now she lives in Florida, so I don't get to see her a lot, but my goal is to put a golf club in her hand and see what she can do with it. And you know what? Hockey players are traditionally good golfers, so.
That's what I've heard. I don't know. I haven't really tried. I think I tried like once or twice, but just at the driving range, but I'll have to try again.
Yeah, I'm always down to drive the golf cart too.
The one.
Go ahead, Nav.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so my next one is I'm going to be more inclusive this time and ask each of you this question, and then I'm going to put up a little surprise slide for you. I'm going to start with Lo.
Oh, yay.
Lo, what is your favorite Netflix series that you've watched, and what is one that you want to start to watch soon?
Oh man, that's really hard. There's a lot of good ones. I'm trying to think of all the ones that I've watched. One that I really liked, I kind of fell off though, but one that when I was watching it, I was really into, Peaky Blinders.
Heard about it.
It's very good. And then one that I don't know if this counts or if this is cheating, but one that I've started watching but haven't finished that I need to get back on the bandwagon of continuing to watch is Umbrella Academy, which I know we've talked about.
Okay, interesting. We'll talk about Umbrella Academy in a second.
Sounds good.
Hi, what about you?
Well, I was going to say Umbrella Academy for one of my favorite ones that I've watched recently.
I thought you were going to say Stranger Things, Eileen.
Oh, well, Stranger Things. Yeah, Stranger Things is always at the top of the list there. That's one of my favorite shows. But more recently is probably Umbrella Academy that I've watched recently. Honestly, I'm looking for a new show to watch. So if anyone wants to give me some suggestions, I watched.
We'll have some for you momentarily.
Oh,
Ooh.
I like go jump around. So like I actually just finished a Prime show, The Boys. That's really good. Really graphic, but I thought that was pretty good. So yeah, I'm looking for some new suggestions. So
Okay, The Boys. Okay. Danielle.
All right, so I'm gonna go with Hulu on this one, if that's allowed.
Yeah.
You can do Hulu if that, I mean, I don't want to break any rules here.
I like Hulu, but I keep running out of those free subscriptions.
Oh, just subscribe, just do it.
The
Just
500 different email addresses I don't.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Hulu, and I'm gonna say my favorite show from Hulu has been Handmaid's Tale, hands down.
yes.
Oh, it is
Great
just, you
show.
just want to feel terrible about everything and just watch that show, but it's
Great
really
show.
good. It's really
Great
good.
stuff. You're
Yeah.
not selling it.
You're
but
really selling it.
I'm
Yeah.
not telling, it just makes you like, it's very well done. It's very artistic, and it's just dismal. It's very dismal, and like
it's great. Great.
you don't come out of it feeling great, but you're like, that's a good show. And then I want to start watching, it's called, and I think it's also on Hulu, it's called Cake. And it's a bunch of like little animated artistic shorts. Yeah. So that's next on the list.
Nice.
Interesting. And you went into the Hulu.
I did.
So what about any of these?
Queen's Gambit. That was a good
Gambit
one.
was definitely a great show.
Yeah,
I
I
just
just finished that. Me too.
Finish that. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but listen, I gotta credit you, Eileen. I'm on episode 3.5 of Umbrella Academy.
You like it?
My favorite scene of all is when they're singing dancing to the Tiffany song in episode.
Wait, is that the one where they're in all different like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
That
your
was
favorite?
Really cool.
Who's your favorite character so far?
Ooh, I think I like Allison.
She's good.
Number 2. She's number 3.
3, I think.
She's number 3. Yeah. Yeah, Allison's my favorite. I actually do like what's number 7's name again?
Vanya.
Vanya. I like her too, but I don't know enough about her yet. We're learning.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You never said Cobra Kai. Eileen, you said you're looking for a new thing to watch. Cobra Kai. Right there.
But that's gonna take some extra effort because I have to watch the original Karate Kids
That's
first
true.
and then watch it. I feel like I'll miss everything if I don't. The only Karate Kid I've seen is the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank because that came out around the time, I was younger, so I watched that one.
Danny,
Yeah.
I feel like you'd like Bridgerton or Bridgerton.
I've never even heard of it. No clue.
Brand new.
Whatsoever.
It's like brand new, right?
Is it? What is it?
Isn't it a British show?
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? I
Yeah.
think I saw, didn't they do like classical instrumentals of modern songs in there? I
Yes,
feel like
they
they-
did.
Yes,
They
okay.
did,
I
yeah.
have heard of it.
I credit Frank Klein for bringing that one to my attention. I binge watched it on the weekend. It wasn't bad.
Is it good?
It wasn't bad.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I would recommend it.
Okay.
So no, that's cool. Hulu, definitely gonna get another free subscription. So thanks, Danny, for those recommendations.
You're welcome.
And I will finish Umbrella Academy and give you my synopsis.
Yes, please do. I'm
We'll be
can't
waiting.
wait for the next season. I'm anxiously waiting.
Back to you, Stomps.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Woodridge. So when you have somebody like Eric or Andre or whoever's first thing when you get there, they're making up the squads, the sides, and you see what team you're on, the dark or the light. Who do you get excited to be on your team, and who do you not like having on your team? No, you don't want to go negative, but I mean, who excites you to be on your team where you say, yeah, we're going to win today's game?
Ooh.
Give me a name.
Okay, so I would have Sabatini on my team just so I wouldn't have to go against him on the face-off. Like that's just so I don't have to go against him.
Dabo.
No, but like for me, I always enjoy having Marcinkowski on my line. I mean, we've played on each other's line for quite some time, so I feel like we're pretty comfortable with one another and what we want to do. And he's just a fun kid. So that's definitely one of the players that I get excited to see that's on my team at Woodridge.
He's been on fire lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Great pick. You can have more than one, but
Oh, I can have more than one. I already took two.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to take everybody's. Like I know everyone was fighting over Sabatini, so I chose to pick him first.
You know, that
Not a
Sam's
draft.
head's
Not a
gonna
draft.
grow now.
um,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, and a more recent player. I don't think I've ever. Maybe I have played with him before, but I don't remember it. Anthony Martino. Is that how you say his name? I just recently met him, and he's just recently been on the team at Woodridge, and he's a really good player, and he's really smart, and he's quick, and that's always a good guy to have on your team.
Second leading scorer in 2020 season.
Mhm.
Yep. Good choice. How about you, Eileen?
So actually I was talking about this with Nav recently, and I brought up we had some great chemistry, me, Nav, and I think it was Dre and Steve. I don't know how to say his last name. You know who I'm talking-
Smentek?
Lentech, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Whenever I see like the combination of Steve, Dre, Nav on my team, I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Because there was one game where we had such great chemistry. And I feel like Steve, I can usually find him if I'm offense, like we usually really connect like all the time, pass, like we're just shooting and passing and scoring all the time. And then like when Nav and I are defense partners, that was really fun. Last weekend we got to be partners for 2 games, so that was really cool. So yeah, that combination of players, I always get really excited.
Feelings mutual.
And that wasn't, I wasn't trying to like, flatter the host or
No,
anything.
you certainly- I accept all flattery in droves. Bring it on.
Lorissa.
Cool. So, well, I'm going to start with 2 of my lovely friends that are on this call right now. I always love playing with them. I mean, I've played with Danielle too long.
Too
I'm
long.
just kidding. But I mean, it's always still fun to play with them. So especially Eileen, now that she's back in Chicago, I get to play with her a little bit more. But besides that, I mean, I'm still getting to know a lot of the people at Woodridge and their names, but I really like playing with, what's his name? Josh.
Oh yeah.
I just think like, I mean, he just tries, like even last Sunday when it was so damn slippery, the poor kid's like falling all over the place, but he's still trying his best. I mean, and doing a great job at it too. So, I mean, that's really fun too. Of course, I always love playing with Marcinkowski too. I mean, I've known him for a very long time as well. And I just love, he's got a great attitude. I mean, great skill as well. And someone too that I've just met since playing at Woodridge is the goalie. Is it Rocco?
Oh, yeah.
So I know like, okay, it's not like we're playing together, but I always love like when I'm like, oh, he's my goalie. I'm like, nice. Like I'm very impressed by him. Yeah, sick. Very impressed by him. He's so quick. He's so good. So yeah.
Well, great answers. I mean, nobody said me, and I guess this interview's over. Kidding.
You guys were just automatically included.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, what happened to the South Side team in the tournament at Woodridge? You know, it's you faced my team, which was the Aztecs, in the first game, and we won 5-0, and that made us feel really good about ourselves. We thought we were going to go far in that tournament, and then we flamed out after we lost all the rest of the games. No, but I'm seriously, talk about that a little bit. You had a really good team. We were, when we did I don't know if you saw our preview show before the tournament, but we looked at all the teams and the rosters and whatnot, and we were expecting big things. And
So
it doesn't work out all the way, all the time. But
I kind of think that it it was like I think that was like the first hockey that a lot of people on our team had played in a really long time. I mean, obviously some of the guys were playing, and I had played just maybe like 2 weekends or a handful of weekends before that. And so really that was the longest I'd gone without playing hockey. And I think a lot of people too, like they were just playing again because of COVID, obviously. So I don't know. I think, give it, if we had another chance, I think we could have come out and dominated the whole tournament.
Definitely on paper, I would agree with Stomps. Just looking at the roster, it looked like a very solid roster. I think all of you all played together. I think you probably there's a bit of a learning curve getting to know the goalie, because I don't think the goalie was from the south side. So I think that was a bit of a learning curve. You guys were, caught up with the whole COVID thing as well through the tournament. So I think there was probably other things going on that might have distracted your team. But honestly, I think I was saying to Stomps, I think it was a couple of shows ago, if we have another tournament and you have that same team, I think that's a deadly team. And I'd say the same thing about the Aztecs as well. I think that they just underperformed in terms of what you guys had on the roster. Same with the Aztecs. You guys could be a very, very likely winner for a tournament out there. So I think it's just a matter of, like you said, probably a combination of conditioning and all that kind of stuff, but definitely great players. I love the Southside players.
We love you back.
Yeah.
You're playing in that new Chicago league, correct? That's going to be I don't know when it's starting up, to be honest with you.
I want to say April or sometime in the spring, but
April, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that right around the corner from your houses? How convenient is that?
It's
beautiful. Oh, it's so nice.
Can you walk there?
No.
No, it's probably like 10 minutes, 10, 15.
Mm-hmm.
I would say around that. Yeah. So compared to us going up to Palatine, it's a nice change of pace there.
Oh, boy.
Right. Any chance you guys might host a sleepover the night before the games, just to have people conveniently be able to get to the rink?
If COVID's no longer a thing by then.
Yeah.
Yeah. If not for COVID, sure.
Totally kidding. Back to you, Stomps.
But so how about ice hockey, ball hockey? What's your preference at this point in your lives?
Ooh, for me, I always want to say that ball hockey, since it was the OG sport that I've ever done, and I've got to travel the farthest with it. I've met so many people through it, and most of my friends I've met through ball hockey. So I usually go. That's my number one, but I also have some great experiences with ice hockey too, and love the people that I've met through that as well.
Yeah, I definitely think ball hockey, but I think it's just because I like to run, and I'm a more natural runner than skater. So I'm way more comfortable at ball hockey. And not that you should just say it's your favorite because you're better at it, but it's kind of my favorite because I'm better at it. But no, I definitely have fun experiences with both. But like Danielle said, like because of the USA team and everything, I've gotten to travel internationally for it, gone to multiple countries, but then also met some awesome women through Chicago Lady Cobras in the North American tournaments. It's actually been really sad not to see them for over a year, just because we usually see each other once or twice a year because of tournaments. And we were supposed to play in like last March, and then about a week before we were supposed to fly to Philly for the big North Americans tournament and have a big reunion with all our teammates from around the country. Obviously COVID happened, so definitely missing them. But we've like kind of made a family from ball hockey, so it's pretty great. It's like a community. So
I'm gonna have to go off both their answers and also say ball hockey. Yeah, I think going back to it, it's always been my favorite sport, and it's been like It's been a giant part of my life, and I'm so grateful for it. And ice hockey has been too. I mean, I've, like Danielle said, and I've met so many awesome people through ice hockey as well, but ball hockey, I think, will always have that special place in my heart.
Now, you've mentioned a couple of times on this Lady Cobras. What can you explain what that is?
Does someone want to take this one?
Oh, Eileen, this is all you,
Oh,
Captain.
Lorissa.
If you'd like me to, sure. So yeah, well, it all kind of started.
Tell the origin story.
Yeah, it all kind of started, and I don't know what year it was, like 2013.
It was the year the Blackhawks won, beat Boston in the
13.
Oh yeah, 2013.
right.
Yep.
Because
Yeah, Eileen.
well, it's because I remember going
Because we went to Boston. Yeah, so basically it was that year, and Danielle, Eileen, and I were all on a women's ice hockey team playing together, and we'd be traveling out to Kankakee for our practices. So a long, good hour drive that we'd all carpool together. And during that carpooling time, we'd reminisce on our ball hockey days and say, wow, that was such a great time. We really missed that sport, blah, 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 blah. At some point, I don't know, remember who found it, but we found a women's ball hockey tournament on the East Coast in Massachusetts. And we were like, wow, wouldn't that be cool if we went? And we scrounged up a bunch of girls that we used to play with. And we formed the Chicago Lady Cobras, and we went out to our first tournament out there, and the rest
spaghetti fundraiser to do it.
We did a spaghetti fundraiser at my church in order to get out there. Yes. And we did it. And it was, the rest was history really from there. I mean, we've lost, or, you know, not everybody from that original team still plays, but we've picked up a lot of great women along the way, as Eileen previously said, from
Across the country,
from Canada too. So, and now it has become like one big family. And yeah, just so grateful for it. So yeah, like we said, we get together a few times a year trying to go to different tournaments and that kind of thing. And we started off in like the women's leagues, they usually have an A and a B league. We started off in the B league, and now we've grown to where we now have two teams, one in the A league, one in the B league. We've won the B championship, so now we're aiming for that A championship. So we're hoping to get there pretty soon.
I would love to see the Cobra logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty cool. Maybe
Let's see. Do I have it handy? Oh, you know what? I can show you.
Oh, that's cool. And I'm wondering if Cobra Kai could.
Yeah, full circle.
Back to Cobra Kai. Right?
I think it's only fate. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen you wear this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
our
awesome.
new
That's
fancy
cool.
sweatshirts. This is what our shirts look like.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Stomps, can I jump in? I got a question for Eileen. real quick.
Absolutely.
Hey, Eileen, last Friday you texted me, and you really spearheaded this whole snow removal committee or crew. And you had texted me with this really, really strong commitment to make sure you had belief that we were going to play on Sunday and no one was going to get in your way. And my phone was blowing up from your text saying, how do we make this happen? And what do I need to do? You went out and you recruited a bunch of people. You brought hot chocolate. Your mom baked cookies. Did you know you were going to be successful? Like, did you just have that belief and you just chased after your dreams? Like, is that just how you're programmed?
That is how she's
That is the
programmed. We'll answer that one for you.
Yeah. 100%.
Yes, I guess. I was really determined to play, and I just saw like you know, like Stomps, you posted that picture of just like how bad the rink looked, and I was like, oh man. And like, but Rocco had put in that little effort to like shovel a little space, and I was like, well, if like, you know, a bunch of people shovel, like maybe we could still play hockey. And honestly, since I've moved back to the Chicago area, hockey on Sundays has been like getting me through, like, because COVID, you can't go anywhere and like you can't really socialize. So that's been like my saving grace. So it's just so nice, and I look forward to it. And I didn't want to not play, so I was just like, I think we can figure out a way to do it if people, and actually more people showed up than I thought would. I didn't think that many people would show up. I think, what was it, Stomps? We had like 11
people doing.
Yeah, so I was really happy that many people decided to commit to it, and that we ended up playing despite the puddle. I think it just shows how many people really wanted to play and like were willing to. I mean, Josh, I think, drove like an hour or something from,
Wow.
and he stayed for like 4 hours or more to do it. So I mean, it just shows like a lot of people just, you know, love Woodridge and what's just love to play with each other. So yeah.
No doubt about that. And I got to tell you something about those treats you brought. So I took a bag, and I told you, I took a bag. It was the Reese's one.
Yeah.
And I said, this won't even make it home, right? Well, I actually didn't eat any on the way home. I brought it home, and my wife ate all of them.
Oh no! So you didn't even get to try it?
I did try. I had one at the ring.
You know what? I have some extra bags. I can't promise they're Reese's, but I'm gonna bring them on Sunday. So.
All right.
You should have just been like me. I was eating those cookies in between my shifts.
Now that's really why we won the game.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I think I might have eaten some in between the two games. So there you go.
That's the secret.
Eileen, I want to single you out for something else. I don't want to embarrass you here, but
Oh God.
well, I'm a geek when it comes to statistics. I just love statistics, and I follow all the hockey stuff. And I was checking it out on the Hockey Monsters app and looking at the 2020 stuff, and I noticed your name was missing. So I went to Eric and I said, this can't be right. And he goes, yeah, my pivot table's messed up. So he goes, I'm going to fix it. Sure enough, he fixes it. Stats get updated. I don't know if you know this, but you were 22nd in the league in 2020 in points.
Wow.
No, I did not.
Which is really cool.
Wow.
You're actually 10th in so far in 2021.
All right.
You know, we're only 1 week into it. But yeah, congrats on that.
Thank you.
Hey, I was just curious, you know, and Nav, we talked about this, I think, on the last couple of shows, how there's a movement right now to try to make ball hockey an Olympic sport.
Mhm.
If that's successful, and let's say there's a men's and a women's, I mean, is it possible that you could participate in such a thing?
I've wondered that for a long time, because they've been talking about trying to make it an Olympic sport ever since like we heard that there was a USA program back in 2013, I think, right? I mean, I feel like probably once we heard about it, they're like, we're trying to make it an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
And obviously it takes a lot to make it one. And they're trying really hard now, especially it seems like it's maybe the most I don't know, the biggest push that I've seen. But I don't know. I'm not sure, just because I don't know if they would recruit, I don't know, D1 ice hockey players or I don't know, like ice hockey Olympian players. I mean, I don't know if they'd have time to do both, but I don't know. Who knows? But I mean, that'd be amazing. But
they're probably watching the show. So if you're watching the show,
you're watching the show.
They're advertising you.
We're great. We would be great on the women's Olympic ball hockey team. You can see we love it. So please recruit us.
There you go. There's the commercial right there.
Yeah.
For those of you at home, we're in season 2, episode 2. You're watching the women of ball hockey here in Chicago. Take it away, Stomps.
No, I mean, this has been great. I enjoyed even just getting to know all three of you a little bit more through this. I've gone through my prepared questions. Nav, what else do you got for us? Anything else? Uh-oh.
Mine is more of a couple of closing comments on the women. If that's okay, I would like to say 3 things. three great guests here this evening, but there's also
Mine is more of a couple of
excuse
closing
me.
comments.
There's also three amazing things that all of you bring collectively to not only the Palatine rink, but also to Sunday Woodridge. So I wanted to leave you with these three things. Number one, and it's something to really hang your hat on, because I find that whenever even if one of the three of you is there, I mean, it's exponentially greater when all three of you are there, but you elevate the performance of all the players around you just because of your effort and your tenacity. And Stomps was talking earlier about the cycle, and I mean, it makes you dizzy, it makes you run, it makes you frustrated. You get a bunch of emotions with that. And then when I look at Eileen and her just versatility to play different positions, I think forward, defense, she takes shots, she blocks shots. Oh my God, she probably has a ton of bruises every Sunday. All of you just bring that one thing. So number one, I say each of you elevates the performance of those around you. Number two, and I think this is a very strong intangible, is all of you, and I don't know if this is just your experience growing up in the sport and competing at the international level, but you bring an amazing attitude to the rink. And that was one of the excitements about having you on the show, because I just think you all bring this great level of energy, enthusiasm, positive attitude, which I think is highly contagious, just like COVID. I mean, it's amazing. All right.
One of these days we'll have a show where you don't mention COVID.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I stayed away from the political stuff tonight. Okay. And finally, number three, which is what we're all about, kind of given where we are in the last 10 months of what we're living in, is COVID again. But each of you brings so much fun. It's just fun. I mean, to me, those three things are the definition of the three of you. So I want to thank you personally. I'm sure Stomp shares my sentiments. You just bring an element of thrill to the game in Chicago, and keep on coming and make sure you stay committed to Dynamo. We're just always love to have you part of our franchise. So that said, I'll pass it back to Stomps. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to you coming back as guests. I hope you feel you always are welcome here. I hope you'll feel motivated to come and join us again.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
And we really appreciate it. Thank you all.
All right. So we had plans to go through the upcoming schedule for some of our programs. Since you're on, if you could just stick around for 2 or 3 more minutes, what I wanted to show you.
Plans to go.
That's why I need a multimedia person.
BBJ.
Yeah, Stevie J. We're going to make that big announcement shortly. I'm going to show everyone here what we got going for our upcoming episodes. And I hope you all tune in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notifications, and click on the bell. So coming up in the next several weeks, as you know, this is our second episode. We kicked off the new year with Behind the Mask. For those of you who haven't watched, it's available on YouTube, where we had Billy and Rocco. We just completed season 2, episode 2, with the women of the sport. A very animated discussion. In the next few days, we're going to have a Dynamo edition, and we're going to talk about the NHL, and we're going to have Alex Marcinkowski, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, as well as Savo. I think those two can have some really good on-camera chemistry. I think they might even have a bromance going. On January 17th, we'll have the Toros Culture with Dave Schmiel, Steve Givens, and Kramer. And then January 24th, we're going to have a Masters edition. As many of you know, if you subscribe to the app, Frank, Dante, Joe, Gleason, Eddie Switek, and myself are working diligently on putting together a Masters team for the upcoming tournament in April. So we'll have these guests here to talk about the tournament and what's happening and how to get involved. Then on the 31st, we're going to have the history of the Bearcats, and that's where we'll have esteemed guest Bobby D, a great goalie in the Chicago area. And then we're really planning to have Chelly join us on February 7th to talk about the importance of defense and his successes that he's enjoyed. And he's led his team to multiple cups, the Raiders and others. Also Dante's Inferno recently as well. And then finally on the 14th, and this is just kind of a little bit of a preview, we're going to have a special Valentine's Day edition. So similar to what we did at Christmas, we'll have a surprise for you all. Stomps, anything to add?
Oh, this was terrific. Do they have any questions for the hosts? Turn the tables on them.
Ooh,
Here's your chance. We've never done that before, right?
All
How
right.
about that, huh?
I actually do have a question. What inspired you guys to do the show?
Wow. Well, I think part of it when COVID, when the original lockdowns kicked in March last year,
Mhm.
we, of course, hockey got shut down in Palatine. And we had a group of people, we started doing Zooms. We actually had one Zoom that was incredible. I wish we would have recorded it. We had guests popping in and out, hockey guys. We must have had 30 people joined. I mean, it was insane. It's hard to manage when you got so many and people are talking over each other. But that was pretty amazing. But and then slowly but surely you kind of get burned out on the Zoom thing because you're doing it for work and everything else. But we talked about it. We said, let's do something. I mean, we're not playing hockey. Let's talk about hockey. I mean, and then it just kind of grew out of that, right, Nav? I mean, wouldn't you say that's kind of...
You said it perfectly. I have nothing to add. It was kind of just, I think a lot of people have taken, Eileen, it's a great question. I think a lot of people have tried unconventional ways of keeping in touch with people with social distancing. And I think Zoom was a way, if you subscribe to the channel, the other thing that I was doing, and it wasn't just by myself, but it was with others, we were doing like these almost daily, right, Stomps, where we were doing these shows every night where we'd have like a Q&A and we were talking, I was preparing.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah,
that was you.
I was preparing all these topics. I was actually inspired. Do you guys remember when the pandemic first started? There was the Living on a Prayer thing that started up.
Oh, yeah.
I was inspired by that. So I did a bunch of daily shows actually from March until May. And we were talking about things where anything from mental health to staying close to people, to building self-confidence, to how to do presentations. And then it was very interactive. So I was on Facebook and I was doing these live videos and people were just asking and just firing away questions and comments. And it was just a way to, just create a cohesive environment during this difficult time. And I think, like Stomp said, it's just started growing. And then we did those Zoom calls, and then we found that the hockey community is really into this kind of stuff. So, we can't quit now. I mean,
Yeah, we get a lot of fun made out of us. That they'll show up to the rink and they'll see us. Oh, the media's here. We better be quiet. Yeah, and then they'll make fun of us like that. But they overwhelmingly positive response to the show by just like Nav said, the community. So we just keep doing it because it's fun and we love it, and that's that.
Yeah, I think it's a great gift to the Chicago ball hockey community for sure. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure you share. Any other questions for us?
I got nothing.
Lo, anything you want to tell us about, any mask suggestions for us? Should I put a mask on the show?
I'm good.
No more mask discussion. Oh, this was phenomenal. This was great. I thank you. We're gonna conclude. Thanks for running the interview, Stomps. Thanks, Danielle, Eileen, and Lorissa. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to stop the live stream and then we're going to do a quick debrief.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yep, thank you again.
Peace out.
Really